You know, when we choose a life of peace, it can come with goodbyes. There comes a moment in every believer's life when you wake up one morning and realize the noise around you has become too loud, and the God within you has become too quiet. You look at your life, your relationships, your habits, your environment, and something rises up in you and says, I just can't carry this chaos another day. I choose peace. But what nobody warns you about is what comes next. Now, when you choose peace, it comes with a lot of goodbyes. Goodbyes you didn't expect. Goodbyes you didn't want. Goodbyes that hurt, but also heal. And today, we're going to walk through the truth of that together. You see, God doesn't call you into peace. He calls you out of chaos. People talk about peace like it's a gentle breeze, something soft you tiptoe into. But biblical peace is not passive. It's not weak. And it is definitely not cheap. Jesus said in John 14, verse 27, Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give as the world gives. Now, that means the peace he gives is not like the peace the world understands. The world calls peace avoiding conflict. But God, well, to God, peace is being anchored in him while the world shakes. Think about this. Noah, his peace was inside an ark while the world drowned in its own choices. Daniel's peace was in a lion's den. Jesus' peace was sleeping in the boat while the storm tried to kill his disciples. You see, real peace is not the absence of storms. Real peace is the presence of God in the middle of them. And to experience God's peace, he often leads you out of something first. Out of drama, out of confusion, out of the noise that has been stealing your clarity. That's why peace begins with goodbye. You see, goodbye to battles you never needed to fight. I mean, have you ever looked back and thought, I carried stress that wasn't mine. I tried to fix situations that weren't my responsibility. I fought for people who wouldn't fight for themselves. Sometimes, the hardest part of choosing peace is realizing how many battles we were never supposed to be in. I mean, look at Jesus. He didn't chase arguments. He didn't explain himself to everyone. He didn't respond to every accusation. And when the Pharisees tried to trap him, he stayed silent. When Herod wanted a miracle performance, Jesus refused. When crowds demanded proof, he walked away. You see, Jesus picked his battles, and most of the time, his choice was not to fight. And sometimes, God is calling you to say, goodbye to proving myself. Goodbye to defending my name. Goodbye to fighting what God has already released from me. Now, goodbye to people who only knew the old you. Think about that, because this is where it gets emotional. You see, some of the goodbyes hurt not because the people were bad, but because they were attached to versions of you that no longer exist. You outgrew the conversations. You outgrew the dysfunction. You outgrew the patterns. But they didn't. And now they don't recognize the version of you that values peace over drama, growth over gossip, and healing over history. Now I want you to listen carefully. Not everyone has the capacity to walk with you into your peaceful season. I want to say that one more time and listen very carefully to this. Not everyone has the capacity to walk with you into your peaceful season. You see, Jesus had crowds, but only 12 disciples. And even within the 12, he only brought 3 into his deepest moments. Elevation always comes with separation. And goodbye to the trauma version of you forever. Because you see, sometimes the goodbye isn't to people. It's to the person you used to be just to survive. The version of you that overextended to feel worthy. Tried to fix others to avoid fixing yourself. Stayed quiet to keep the peace. Accepted less than you deserve. Carried childhood wounds like adult responsibilities. I want to stop right there. That's been one of the most powerful things for me in my walk with Christ, is releasing old versions of myself. So if you're there, I'm with you. And you know what? Choosing peace sometimes requires a funeral. You must bury the you that chaos created. And that's hard, right? Because even dysfunction, when familiar, feels safe. But God won't let you stay in a life that contradicts the healing he is doing in you. So he will whisper, say goodbye. I'm making you new. And we gotta say goodbye to environments that keep our spirit restless, because peace requires space. You can't heal in the same room that broke you. You can't grow in soil that keeps you small. God often leads people out before he leads them in. Abram, leave your father's house. Moses, leave Egypt. Elijah, leave the cave. The disciples, leave your nets. Every calling begins with a departure. And some of the environments God delivered you from are places you no longer have business revisiting. Peace sometimes means changing. Changing what you watch. Changing what you tolerate. Changing what you allow. Changing what you engage in. Changing what you participate in. Changing what conversations you make space for. Because peace isn't passive. It's selective. And sometimes, if you want to change your life, you've got to change your life. And peace comes with divine replacement. This is beautiful. You see, this is the part people misunderstand. When God asks you to say goodbye, he's already prepared a hello, a holy exchange. God never subtracts without multiplying later. You say goodbye to exhaustion, hello to restoration. Goodbye to confusion, hello to clarity. Goodbye to lies, hello to God's truth. Goodbye to chaos, hello to identity. Goodbye to instability, and hello to purpose. Goodbye to noise, hello to the voice of our God. Isaiah 55 verse 12 says, "You will go out with joy and be led forth in peace." Not pushed, not forced, but led. You see, peace becomes the compass of your destiny. And the silence after goodbye is not empty. It's healing. You see, at first, peace might feel strange. The silence might feel a bit uncomfortable. The stillness feels unnatural. The quiet can feel heavy. But that's because you're detoxing from years of spiritual noise. You're learning to breathe again, learning to rest again, learning to hear God again. Peace is not quiet, it's clarity. You finally hear God say, "I've been here the whole time. Now that the noise has left, you can finally hear me." And peace is spiritual warfare. Don't let anyone tell you choosing peace is soft, because choosing peace takes strength to walk away, courage to detach, wisdom to stay silent, faith to let God defend you, maturity to stop explaining yourself, growth to break cycles, spiritual depth to prioritize quietness over arguments. Because you see, the enemy, well, he thrives in chaos. So when you choose peace, you're declaring, "Satan, you lose access to my mind. You lose access to my emotions. You lose access to my day. You lose access to my atmosphere." Because choosing peace is choosing God's kingdom over the enemy's playground. And friends, you don't realize how heavy something is until you put it down. When you finally choose peace, your body feels lighter. Your sleep gets deeper. Your thoughts get clearer. Your heart becomes calmer. Your spirit gets stronger. Your days feel purposeful. Your relationships feel healthier. And your faith, well, your faith will grow deeper. Because you're not fighting everything anymore. You're only fighting the battles God actually called you to fight. And if you're hearing this right now, this part is for you. You are not losing people. You are losing anxiety. You are not losing friends. You are losing distractions. You are not losing relationships. You are losing weights God never meant for you to carry. And when you choose peace, you choose God's voice over human opinions. You choose healing over hurting. You choose growth over drama. You choose purpose over people pleasing. You choose destiny over disorder. And the same God who walked you out of chaos will walk you straight into the fullness of His peace. So today, lift your head, straighten your shoulders, and walk confidently into the season God is calling you into. Because the goodbyes you're making are paving the way for the hello you've been praying for. Truth. And God bless you, my friends. I hope you have a beautiful day.